everybody, it's Miss Mello again, and today we are going to be doing activity number 12. How tall can you go with a Lego tower? Now you might be wondering, how do I do this? How do I figure this out? Well, I'm here to show you and tell you a little bit about what you're supposed to do so that you can go ahead and do it yourself. Now, the Lego How Tall You Can Go activity is all about working with water. And better yet, working with something we call buoyancy. Buoyancy is the ability for an item or an object, maybe even a styrofoam plate, to float in water or any other fluid. For this activity, you're using water. And you're going to take this styrofoam plate and you're going to put your Lego base plate on top. Now you'll notice that it just about covers the whole plate. Then you're going to take this and put it in water. And you'll notice something. Because the styrofoam is there, okay, it's going to float. Now, if we take the styrofoam away and put the base plate in, the base plate is going to float for a little bit, but it's going to fall. The styrofoam that you've been given is going to give it a little bit of an extra boost. It's going to make the objects more buoyant so that you can stack Legos on your base plate and see how many you can go before it doesn't float anymore. Now, the thing with this activity is I'm not going to tell you exactly how to do it, and I'm certainly not going to tell you how many Legos go in it. That is up to you. But I'm going to give you a couple of key things to remember when you go to do the activity. 1, you want to make sure your base plate stays level on your styrofoam plate. And what I mean is you don't want it to slide and be all over the place. Now you'll notice in your instructions it says glue is optional. I would not suggest gluing your base plate down to the styrofoam. Here's why. If you need this base plate again, you can't get the styrofoam off because the bottom of your Lego plate has all these porous things. The glue is going to stick to those and stick to the styrofoam. You won't be able to peel it back off. So you'll have a base plate forever connected to a piece of styrofoam. And maybe that's not what you want. Easiest way to do it is take your tub, and you'll notice I have this big giant tub of water here. You're going to take your styrofoam, place the styrofoam into the water first, and you'll notice it kind of bounces around. Then balance your base plate on top. That way, you're not trying to bounce it all around, and you can't tell if it got wet or not. So now it's sitting nice and balanced on the water, and I can take all my Legos and see how far I can go. Now, when you're placing your Legos, you want to remember that buoyancy, but you want to remember the conversations we've had already about force. You want to keep those things equal as possible. And what I mean by that is as I go to stack my Legos onto my base plate, I don't want to push super hard because it's going to sink my styrofoam boat. I also want to make sure that I keep them level. So when I take two Legos together, I don't want to stack them unevenly because you'll notice this is an uneven object and it's gonna fall over. That falling over might cause my entire tower to fall over. You wanna try to keep things as balanced as possible. So maybe that means stacking them exactly on top of each other. Or maybe it means just keeping your dimensions or your length and your width equal with your height. It's up to you what you wanna do to make your tower. But just remember, as you're going to build your tower, here's the goal. Don't sink the styrofoam. You want to get as many Legos as you can go. And hint, it's all about how tall you can go, not about how wide. So you want to go up as high as you can without sinking the styrofoam. And then you'll be able to answer the question, what is the tallest tower you can build on a styrofoam platform? Your base plate is there to just help you link the Legos so that they don't go sliding around. The main goal is don't let this little bit of styrofoam go under the water. And that involves buoyancy and all those different forces that you've been learning about. But remember, you're a perfect engineer. It's not going to be too hard. You can do this. And remember, even if you only get 2 Legos high, that's 1 Lego higher than you may have gotten the day before. Just in case it sinks, okay, redesign, try again. That's what engineers do. I'll tell you, I thought I was going to be a genius engineer, and I put the whole bag on there, and I went, got it, done, I get them all. It sunk, and it sunk pretty quickly. So I took it out of the water, I let it dry, and I put it back. Over and done with. Now, I will give you this one big hint. Don't put any holes or puncture your styrofoam. And what I mean by that is, yeah, it might make it easier if you put supports and build things to it. But if you poke any holes in this styrofoam, it's over. It doesn't float anymore. It gets all messy and it sinks. The whole reason why this works is because this is a completely flat surface that water doesn't go into. You'll notice when it gets wet, it just comes off on your hands. It doesn't stay on the styrofoam. This dries. It doesn't absorb the water. But if I poke a hole in here, or I break it in any way, it's gonna start taking on that water, which means it's gonna start to sink. We wanna think about this, about how they build boats. They build boats out of material that doesn't take in the water. We wanna make sure it stays that way, okay? But we wanna make sure that the weight of all these Legos keeps everything balanced from sinking. So, it's an open challenge. There's no real specific directions. All you gotta do is take the styrofoam, take your base plate, and get to building. And see just how far and how high you can go. But remember, keep those forces even, because that'll let you go even higher. And if you get stuck, just remember, at the bottom of your instructions page, there's a link to a lovely YouTube video. You can complete the activity with your friends and be able to see how other people have done the activity. And that sometimes is a little bit more fun. Don't worry. Keep track of your data. Write how tall you can go. Change your design if it doesn't work. And be a great engineer. That's all you really have to do.